Hey guys, it's Max. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Max Gonzon. And today, gusto ko lang gumawa ng video kasi wala lang. Gusto kong dumaldal and feel ko busy mga friends ko. Wala akong makausap. I wanna yap and yap. So this video is just to release some feelings that I've been having. Parang reflection na din for the past 5 years, 4 years, 3 years. So this video will be talking about navigating early 20s. Everything early 20s. Kasi I recently turned 24. So that makes it official. I'm already past the early 20s stage. Para sa akin ang early 20s is 20 to 23. Then 24 to 27, that's the mid-20s. And late 20s na yung 28, 29. Actually 27, I believe is already late 20s. So I'm officially part of the mid-20s. And gusto ko lang mag-reflect sa naging early 20s ko. So let's start. By defining what early 20s is. Feel ko ang general consensus, early 20s is from 20 to 23. But more than the number, I think yung early 20s is the transition from college to entering the real world or entering yung corporate world for some. Just graduating and figuring things out after the university life. So that's what early 20s is for me. Pero at the same time, because of K-12 and because some people get delayed then in college, a lot of people are still in college for their early 20s. So generally, this is what makes early 20s such a weird age to be in. Kasi may mga kaibigan kang nag-start ng ikasal or na-engage. Although hindi rin masyadong uso sa atin, pero may mga nagkakaanak na rin. And at the same time, may mga kaibigan kang mag-start pa lang ng college, kakagraduate lang ng senior high, kailangan pa magpaalam sa magulang to go out. Kasi you have friends that are older than you and also friends that are younger than you. Yung mga friends mo naman na ka-age mo, they're also all figuring things out either in work, in life, in school. So it's a very weird age to be in. It's very uncertain. It's a transitionary period from college to the corporate world or to the, kumbaga, sinasabi nilang real world. So when I was younger, I really thought na kapag 20 na ako, that's when I would have full control of my life. So don't get me wrong, I feel like meron naman akong independence, but at the same time, ang dami pa rin palang mga bagay na hindi ko control. So my expectations when I was younger is by the time I'm in my 20s, early 20s particularly, na-figure out ko na lahat ng mga bagay-bagay sa buhay ko. Pero at the same time, now that I've done with my early 20s, parang ang dami ko pa palang hindi alam. Ang dami ko pang kailangang ayusin sa buhay ko and kinikilala ko pa yung sarili ko at the same time. So my initial expectations were by the time na ang ingay ng motor sa labas. By the time na nasa early 20s na ako, parang may idea na ako kung anong gusto kong gawin, anong gusto kong maging, and so on. But I've been following a lot of podcasts, musicians, artists, generally mga taong older than me, mga millennials, since I am Gen Z. So for example, si Lord, ayan, kaya ko rin siya nilagay dyan. Yung mga songs niya, it's about figuring things out, teenage, love, romance, growing up. May idea ko na early 20s is not as glamorous as I thought it would be. So for example, sa mga songs niya sa Solar Power na talking about parang nung teenager siya, parang gusto niyang tumanda na, then biglang nasa mid-20s na siya. Ibang-iba yung expectation niya from her teenage years sa realidad ng 20s niya. And at the same time, may mga podcasters din akong fina-follow, sila Tonet Hadaone, JP Habak, ang walang kwentang podcast. They talk about their experiences when they were younger, when they were in their 20s, starting out in the film industry. And marami silang nasasabi about things that happened during your 20s na mahirap talaga siya. Akala mo magiging director ka agad, magiging mataas ka agad in the field or in the industry that you're entering. Pero that's not the case for them pala. Parang you have to start small, you have to start at the bottom, maging PA, maging script con, and dun sila natututo ng mga bagay-bagay. And from there, dun sila nag-figuring things out, kumbaga. One topic struck me, yung kay Antoinette Hadaone, yung pagbili nila ng friends niya ng mga condo. So yun, parang it's such a 20s thing to do. Doing something, I don't know, hindi ko siya matatawag na financially irresponsible kasi hindi naman siya financially irresponsible, pero something na biglaan, very out of the blue, kakaiba. Parang may mga urges ka kasi ganun kapag nasa 20s ka na parang gusto ko na i-figure yung buhay ko, figure things out. I wanna be financially independent. I wanna have properties. I wanna have this or that. I wanna live my life. Pero at the same time, you'll realize na hindi naman pala kailangan magmadali. It's really hard to say that to yourself. Kasi even ang dami kong ginagawa kasi feel ko nauubusan ako ng oras. So, I go to the gym, I go to Spanish class. Kasi feel ko, after 10 years, baka obsolete na ako, puro AI na lahat, ganun. So that's why I'm upskilling, making myself healthier, more well-rounded, more holistic. So I feel like that encapsulates the 20s experience na parang kang nawawala ng oras. That's the common thing na feel ko. I feel all of my 20s people, all of my 20s folks, peers feel together with me. Feel like your 20s is very chaotic, very transformative, very uncertain. But at the same time, it should be exciting for you kasi it's your first years of being an adult. So, di ba, legally speaking, the age of majority is 18. Pero I feel like early 20s talaga, dun ka nagiging adult. Hindi ka na masyadong umaasa sa parents mo, may sarili ka ng buhay, may sarili ka ng pera for some, may sarili ka ng decision making. Hindi ka na masyadong natatali sa kung ano yung gusto ng parents mo. So you have more agency, and that's something that you should be excited about. It's very different from your childhood, from your teenage years. It's not something that you should not be scared about. I mean, pwede ka namang matakot, pero at the same time, hindi ka dapat matakot to the point na hindi ka na mag-explore. So bakit ko nga ba ito gustong pag-usapan? Well, for one, it's a universal experience that everyone goes through. Second, again, as I said in my previous videos, I think most of my audience is younger than me. So I want them to have a video or something. Parang gusto ko silang bigyan ng regalo or pamana para when they get into their early 20s, parang there's this sort of comfort na things will get better and they will figure things out. Kasi ako hindi ko pa rin na-figure things out. Pero at the same time, nalampasan ko naman yung early 20s ko. And I think lahat naman kayo malalampasan yan. Lagi lang tayong umiiyak during our early 20s. Pero at the same time, kayang-kaya natin to. Third, ayun nga, when I was younger, when I was, 19, 20, onti lang yung mga taong nag-explore talaga ng early 20s as a life stage. So for example, yan, si Lord. Thank you, Lord, for your songs kasi it gave me an idea of how chaotic your 20s will be. Same thing with podcasters I listen to. Nakatulong sila sa pag-navigate ko ng early 20s. So I want myself to be that for the younger generation. Someone who will be comforting them and making them realize na it's okay na hindi ka maubusan ng oras. Hindi mo ma-figure lahat ng bagay agad-agad. So that's why we're exploring this video. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung mga big transitions during your early 20s. Starting with your career and your work. Hindi naman secret, hindi naman sa pagmamayabang, but I graduated summa cum laude and people thought na kapag summa cum laude ka sa UP, parang automatic may mga job offers ka na, may clear pathway ka na sa corporate world, especially as a business student, as a business administration graduate. Pero that's not really the case. So, yep, I graduated summa cum laude in UP in 2023 and then I went to law school immediately after that. So, mga 2 weeks ako sa law school and then I dropped out. And because of that, nagkaroon ako ng delay entering the workforce. I don't know if it's a good thing. Unang-una, it's a bad thing because yung mga management trainee programs ng mga big companies, ng mga multinational companies, corporations, it happens way before your graduation. So mga March, April, May, yung mga companies naghahanap na yun ng mga prospects from the business school to enter their company as management trainees. So since I was so set on entering law school, entering UP Law, wala sa isip ko yung pagtatrabaho. So hindi ako naghanap ng management trainee programs, hindi ko masyadong in-explore. Talagang ang nasa buhay ko noon, ang nasa isip ko noon, maglo-law school ako. Wala akong pake sa mga kabatch kong naghanap ng trabaho. Kasi di pa naman ako mag-work. That proved to be a very big mistake. Kasi nga, nag-drop out ako ng law school and I really had nothing nung nag-drop out ako. Sobrang baba ng pride ko noon. Feel ko, ang bobo-bobo ko. Basta nawalan ako ng hope kasi imagine from graduating summa cum laude tapos law school dropout tapos jobless ka pa, wala kang sahod, wala kang anything. Talagang it was a humbling experience. Ayun, yun yung una. Transitioning from the university life to the corporate world. It's very hard kasi una, kailangan maghanap ng trabaho. And once you're already in the job, it's very different from schooling. So yung sa schooling, nahati siya in 2 weeks, nahati siya into semesters. And once the semester is over, wala na. Tapos na. Hindi mo na siya kailangang isipin ulit. Unless magta-take ka ng boards in the future. But in work, it's different kasi it never really stops. Parang walang semesters, hindi mo alam kung kailan matatapos yung projects mo. Well, pag projects madali kasi may end. Pero yung mga business as usuals mo, yung BAU na tinatawag, araw-araw, linggo-linggo mong kailangan gawin and it never really stops. Yun yung pinaka nahirapan ako nung una kasi nisip ko, hala, kailan kaya ito matatapos? Kasi kapag estudyante ka, nilook forward mo yung pagtapos ng semester Pero pag nag-work ka na, it's a continuous process. So, kailangan mahal mo yung ginagawa mo. Kasi if hindi mo mahal yung ginagawa mo, sobrang idadread mo yung trabaho mo. For me, I really love my work. I get to talk with people. I get to teach people on how to secret na lang kung ano yung ginagawa ko. Pero nagtuturo ko ng mga tao. Pero ayun nga, yun yung main difference is yung time frame. Kapag school, may semesters, may clear end and beginning. But for work, walang clear na end and beginning. That's one of the changes, adjustments that I have to navigate when I enter the workforce. So when it comes to job hunting, kailangan mo talagang maging proactive. So ako nga, as a summa cum laude, medyo nahirapan akong maghanap ng work. Feel ko, companies think I'm overvaluing myself. Pero alam ko naman yung value ko, kaya parang I don't wanna settle with a low wage na first job. So gusto ko managerial agad. And yung sahod, medyo decent naman for what I could offer the company. Since ayun nga, I graduated Summa, I'm from UP, and so on. That's not entitlement. I might sound entitled. I'm sorry if that's the case. Pero you need to know what your value is and what you could offer the company and start there when it comes to wage negotiations. So, kailangan alam mo yung worth mo para may lalaban mo yung sarili mo. And personally, I think then medyo mababa yung minimum wage natin. Kailangan natin siyang itaas for everyone to have a decent life, especially sa mga nakatira sa cities. That's for another video. Ang point ko lang is, kailangan alam mo yung worth mo and ipaglaban mo yung sahod na deserve mo. So, kaya medyo nahirapan ako finding a job is medyo mataas yung starting price ko, starting salary na gusto ko. I won't delve into it, pero naghanap ako ng mga work. Ironically, yung work na napuntahan ko is yung unang nag-offer sa akin. Sila yung lumapit sa akin sa LinkedIn. Lumapit sila before I entered law school. So, sabi ko, I'm sorry, I'm going to law school. I can't accept your offer for now. Yun nga, since nag-drop out ako ng law school, after 2 weeks, binalikan ko sila and doon din ako napunta and in the end. It's one of the fastest decisions that I made. I wish I had more time or parang I wish I spent more time in looking for a first job, looking back at it. Pero at the same time, I'm happy where I am right now. And it's a decent first job to have. I'm learning a lot. My boss is great. My community, my team is great. So actually, wala na talaga akong hahanapin kasi the pay is great as well. So that's how I found my first job. So is this something that I dreamt about when I was a kid or even when I was in college? Honestly, hindi. Parang hindi ko nakikita yung sarili ko in this industry, the financial sector industry. Akala ko magiging marketing agency ako or FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. Kasi yun naman yung laging pinupunta ng mga BA students. Pero I'm in the banking or financial sector. So, ayun, hindi ko siya in-expect. Pero at the same time, although it's not part of my passions, ang passion ko talaga is media, marketing, music, film. I feel like hindi mo naman kailangan na yung source of income mo is the same as your passion. So, for example, in my case, I work at a bank, I work in a financial institution. It pays great. I do enjoy the things that I do. Pero at the same time, my passion really is with music, with film. So nagagawa ko pa rin to kasi I have a great team. Okay yung time management namin and work-life balance namin. Kaya nagagawa ko pa rin yung mga music and film ko. So I score films and also I do music on the side. I do commissions. Ayan, may mga gusto kayong pagawa ng music, pwede ako. And may mga personal projects din akong ginagawa. So for those who are still in their 20s, wondering if matitigil na ba yung mga passion nila, it's really up to you. Kasi pwede mo naman siya gawin on the weekends. Pwede mo rin siya gawin pag-uwi. And if you really love it, you could use the funds from your day job to fund your passion projects, to fund your hobbies. One podcast again that really struck me. Recently ko lang ito napanood kasi recently lang nila ni-release. Ang Walang Kwenta podcast again. Ang guest nila si Emil Sol. So yun, si Emil, he's my senior in Maksay. Fun fact. Ayan. And we were actually rivals kasi yung banda nila laging nananalo sa banda namin. Pero ayun, that's another video. Ang daldal ko na naman. Ang gusto ko sabihin is, kunento niya doon yung day job niya as a data analyst. That's what he used to fund his music na para ma-release niya yung music niya, ma-distribute niya, maka-perform siya sa mga gigs. So that's what you could do as well. Two things could be right at the same time, could be the truth at the same time. Hindi naman siya palaging this or that. So yun yung kagandahan ng mundo natin. We have all the time in the world to do our day job and at the same time, do the things that we love, yung ating mga passions. So wag niyong ikakahon yung sarili niyo na, ay ganito lang ako, sa trabaho lang ako, gusto ko lang i-push yung career ko. Ay, dito lang ako sa passion ko. Two things could be right at the same time. And pwede mo namang paghaluin yun. You just need to manage your time. And kung mahal mo talaga yung pareho mong ginagawa, you will flourish. I believe pwede kang mag-climb ng corporate ladder while also being a successful musician, a successful filmmaker. Syempre may mga sacrifices along the way. Hindi ko naman sinasabing napakadaling gawin parehas at the same time. Pero kung gusto mo talaga, may paraan. Kung ayaw, may dahilan, di ba? So how do you navigate it? It really depends on you. Pero para sa akin, personally, ang ginagawa ko is kapag day job, focus sa day job. And then on the weekends, and pag naka-leave, kapag merong holiday, that's when you do your passion projects. So first, you have to find a job that has good work-life balance. So I work in a conglomerate na very big yung work-life balance. So I'm really lucky. Kasi kapag Saturdays, Sundays, wala talagang trabaho. Pag holidays, holiday talaga kasi nasa bangko ko. So, sarado ang bangko, kumbaga. So, nagagawa ko yung mga gusto ko kapag holidays and weekends. And at the same time, hindi sila strict sa leaves. Leaves mo yun eh, hindi mo nga siya kailangang ipagpaalam. Kailangan mo lang siya ipagpaalam na mag-leave ka. Pero syempre, you have to be considerate of your team's workload. Kailangan ma-manage nyo yun bago ka mag-leave. So, that's my first suggestion. Siguro, find a decent job that will allow you to have work-life balance. Easy for me to say. I get that. Pero kung gusto mong makahanap ng job that has work-life balance, I feel like kayang-kaya nyo. You just need to learn where to find one. Together with your first job is yung first days of financial independence nyo. So, hindi ko naman sinasabing magiging mayaman kayo agad. Pero, it's the first time that you will be having your own money. That thing is very jarring kasi dati hindi mo mabili mga gusto mo. Ngayon, you have the money to buy things for yourself. If you're not careful, baka magkaroon ka ng problema with your finances. May mga suggestions ako, pero take this with a grain of salt. This is my personal experience, my personal opinions. So una, it's okay to get a credit card. It's okay to get 2, get 3. Maraming mga early 20s na meron ng credit cards. For me, kailangan lang alam mo kung paano siya gumagana, kung paano siya gamitin, anong mga features niya na makakatulong sa'yo to handle your finances. So una, huwag kang bibili gamit yung credit card mo nang hindi mo kayang bayaran in cash. So, bibili ka lang ng isang bagay kapag kaya mo siyang bayaran in cash and then i-credit card mo lang para sa points. So, that's 1. Number 2, hindi po libreng pera ang credit card. Kumbaga, kapag ginamit mo siya, tatanggalin mo siya sa isip mo. Hindi siya ganun. Hindi pwedeng ganun kasi mababound ka talaga sa utang. So, ang ginagawa ko kapag bibili ako ng isang gamit, kaya ko na siyang bilhin in cash. Sadyang i-installment ko lang siya para hindi siya mabigat sa bulsa. So, again, kapag bibili ka ng bagay gamit ang installment, kaya mo na dapat siyang bilhin right there and then, pero ika-credit card mo lang siya para mas magaan. Number 3, merong minimum amount na kailangan bayaran for credit card, pero hindi lang dapat yun yung babayaran mo. Dapat babayaran mo ng buo, pay in full yung credit card mo, since yung mga outstanding balance nun is 3% to 5% ang interest. So yung iba kasi ang binabayaran lang yung minimum, akala nila walang interest yung mga matitira. Meron po tayong interest. Hindi po kikita ang bangko kung wala tayong interest. So bayaran mo in full yung credit card bills mo. That's my third tip. And lastly, I could make an entire video about credit cards actually. Pero siguro number 4, mag-join na lang kayo ng Kaskasan Buddies on Facebook. There, nandun yung mga points, nandun yung mga rewards, nandun yung mga promos, campaigns, and how to better your credit score and so on. Basta it's an entire community about credit cards that will help you manage your finances and improve your credit score kasi in the future, you will be buying homes, you will be buying cars, you will be taking on personal loans. And kung hindi maganda yung credit score mo dahil sa credit card, marereject ka. Ayan. So besides sa credit card, dahil nga may sarili ka ng pera, may tinatawag tayong lifestyle inflation. So sa lifestyle inflation, ito yung lumolobo yung lifestyle expenses mo. So for example, kung dati nagko-commute ka lang, ngayon nag-aangkas ka na, tapos napapadalas yung pag-grab mo, napapadalas yung pagpapadeliver mo ng pagkain, pag-shopping mo. Ibig sabihin, habang lumalaki yung sahod mo, yung disposable income mo, lumalaki din yung gastos mo sa buhay mo. I'm a victim to this. Di aamin ko, nagkaroon ako ng lifestyle inflation dahil nga may sarili na akong pera and wala naman akong binubuhay bukod sa sarili ko. And nagbibigay lang din ako sa parents ko every now and then. Hindi naman nila ako inoobliga. Parang inisip ko, ay may pera ako. Hindi ko na-realize na hindi ako masyado nakapag-ipon dahil sa ginagawa ko. So yun yung kailangan nyong i-manage. I'm not saying na huwag kayong bumili para sa sarili nyo. Deserve nyo yan dahil sahod nyo yan. What I'm saying is, kailangan nyong i-check yung expenses nyo. Kailangan nyo i-check yung lifestyle nyo. Kasi kayo rin yung magsasuffer in the future kapag hindi nyo masyadong tinitignan yung expenses nyo. Na gastos lang kayo ng gastos kasi inisip nyo, may darating at may darating na sahod. So, some of my tips are, una, magkaroon kayo ng emergency fund, EF na tinatawag, which is 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary. In case na may hospital, karoon ng sunog, any unexpected emergencies na kailangan natin ng malaking pera at hindi natin naasahan, kailangan may emergency fund ka. So, 3 to 6 months of your salary. Yun yung kailangan yung unang i-build once magkaroon na kayo ng trabaho. Second is to track your expenses. Sabi nga nila, what gets measured gets done. So, in my case, I have an expense tracker. Ayan. So, nandito lahat ng expenses ko, lahat ng incomes ko, lahat ng assets ko. It's called Money Manager. And bumili na ako ng Pro kasi one-time purchase lang naman siya and magagamit ko siya for the entirety of my life. O mag-install kayo ng Money Manager or any expense tracker for that matter. Kasi kailangan mo malaman kung saan ka sumusobra ng gastos. In my case, food deliveries, leisure, as a Taurus na medyo hedonistic, medyo mahilig lumabas, mahilig sa mga pleasures in life, kailangan kong bawas-bawasan yun. And as a Taurus na collector din ng kung ano-ano, in my case, vinyls, kailangan kong malaman kung hanggang saan lang dapat ako bumibili ng vinyl for the month. Manage your expenses by measuring them. And pangatlo, don't buy something na hindi mo kayang bilhin 2 times or 3 times or 5 times. Depende sa inyo. Kasi it will allow you to rethink the purchase again and again and again. Ako, pag bumibili ako ng bagay, it takes me around 3 months to get that thing. So for example, yung turntable ko for my vinyls, it took me years. Matagal ko nang gusto. Pero bumili lang ako nung niregaluhan ako ng kaibigan ko ng plaka. So sabi ko, sige na nga, may plaka na ako, bibili na ako ng turntable. And bumili lang ako ng second hand kasi hindi ko naman kailangan ng brand new. Ayan, medyo napapahaba na tong video na to, so I will be doing a part 2. But again, this is navigating your 20s, your early 20s in particular. Pero take it with a grain of salt. I'm still 24. These are the things that I wish I knew when I was in my early 20s. Napakahaba na ng dinaldal ko. Tama na to. Sige na. Bye-bye.